Hi, welcome to our channel Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. Devotion, the path of surrender and absolute faith. As Arjuna listens to Krishna's profound teachings on the nature of the self and the universe, his heart begins to open to a higher understanding. In this section, Krishna delves deeper into the concept of devotion, explaining that the path of bhakti, devotional service to the divine, is the most accessible and effective way to attain union with the Supreme. This path requires a deep surrender of the ego, an unwavering faith in the divine, and a willingness to place the self completely in the hands of God. Krishna introduces the idea that the highest form of yoga is not intellectual knowledge or rigorous discipline, but surrendering to the divine with pure love and devotion. He emphasizes that this surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and wisdom, for it allows one to transcend the ego and align with the highest truth. The power of devotion, a path for all. Krishna begins by declaring that bhakti, or devotion, is not reserved for a select few, but is a path open to everyone, regardless of their social status, education, or previous experiences. He assures Arjuna that anyone who surrenders their heart to God, with true faith and devotion, will be guided to liberation. Krishna says, "I'm the same to all beings. No one is my enemy, nor is anyone my friend. But those who worship me with pure devotion, with faith and surrender, will find my grace." This teaching is both profound and liberating. Krishna makes it clear that no matter who we are or what we have done, we are all equal in the eyes of the divine. The essence of devotion lies not in ritualistic practices or superficial displays of piety, but in the heart's sincere longing for connection with the Supreme. By surrendering the ego, a devotee aligns themselves with the divine will, and through this connection, they can experience peace, love, and ultimate liberation. For Arjuna, this concept of divine grace is deeply reassuring. It offers him a way out of his inner turmoil, the uncertainty of the battle, and the heavy burden of his duties. Through devotion, he can find strength in surrendering his struggles and anxieties to God, trusting that the divine will guide him. The surrender of the ego, the key to divine union. One of the core messages of Krishna's teachings is the necessity of surrendering the ego. The ego, or the false self, is rooted in pride, attachment, and personal desire. It creates the illusion of separation, making us believe that we are distinct from others and from the divine. In truth, Krishna explains the ego is an obstacle to spiritual realization, and to attain union with the Supreme, one must relinquish it. Krishna says, "Give up all forms of ego and surrender yourself fully to me. Those who surrender to me, without reservation, are freed from the cycle of birth and death. I will take care of their spiritual welfare." This teaching on surrender is not about giving up one's individuality or renouncing all desires. Rather, it is about releasing attachment to the idea that the ego, or the separate self, is the source of happiness or fulfillment. When we surrender our individual will to the divine, we align ourselves with a higher, more universal consciousness, which transcends all limitations of the ego. The path of surrender to Krishna's will, Krishna explains, leads to the dissolution of all internal conflicts and desires. The devotee, in their unwavering faith and trust, experiences divine guidance, protection, and an unbreakable connection with the Supreme. The universality of the divine, Krishna as the Supreme Being. As Krishna continues his discourse, he reveals his true nature as the Supreme Being, beyond all limitations of form and name. He explains that while he appears in various forms on the earthly plane, whether as a prince, a teacher, or a friend, his essence is beyond the physical world and beyond time. Krishna is the eternal, unchanging consciousness that permeates all creation. Krishna explains, "I'm the source of all beings. I am the beginning and the end of all things. In me, all things exist, and from me, all things emerge." The world is my manifestation, and all beings are my forms. This revelation brings a deep realization to Arjuna. Krishna, in his human form, is not just a divine teacher, but the very essence of the universe itself. All of creation, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, is a reflection of this infinite consciousness. By recognizing this, Arjuna comes to see that the separation between himself and the world, between good and evil, and even between life and death, is an illusion. Everything is interconnected, and all things ultimately return to the divine source. For us, this teaching reminds us that we are not separate from the world or from each other. The same divine essence that flows through Krishna flows through us and all beings. Recognizing this interconnectedness allows us to approach life with a sense of unity and compassion, free from the narrow confines of personal ego. The power of faith, trusting in divine guidance. Krishna teaches that faith in the divine is the most powerful force for transformation. This faith is not a blind belief, but a deep inner trust in the divine's will and grace. Those who place their faith in God, Krishna assures, will never be abandoned. The divine is always present to guide, protect, and uplift the devotee, even in the most difficult times. Krishna says, "Those who have unwavering faith in me, who surrender their hearts to me, I will carry them across the ocean of suffering. I am the true refuge for those who seek me." This teaching emphasizes that no matter how dire the circumstances or how challenging life may become, the devotee who has faith in the divine is never alone. Krishna promises to be the guiding light for those who trust in him and surrender to his will. In moments of confusion or despair, the devotee can find comfort in the knowledge that divine help is always available. The role of knowledge in devotion. Wisdom as the path to realization. Krishna explains that while devotion and faith are central to the spiritual path, wisdom also plays a vital role. Knowledge of the self and the supreme is not only the path to liberation, but also the foundation of true devotion. Without wisdom, devotion can become superficial, a mere ritual or emotional attachment. But when guided by true knowledge, devotion leads to the highest form of enlightenment. Krishna explains, "Those who are devoted to me with true wisdom understand that I am the essence of all things. They see me in everything and everyone. Their hearts are filled with love, and their minds are illuminated by the light of knowledge." This teaching underscores the inseparable connection between wisdom and devotion. The knowledge that the divine permeates all of existence deepens one's love and devotion. It removes any sense of separation, allowing the devotee to see the divine in every action, every relationship, and every moment. This union of knowledge and devotion leads to spiritual liberation. The liberation of the devotee, eternal union with the divine. In the final teachings of this part, Krishna reveals the ultimate reward for the devotee who surrenders completely, liberation or moksha. Through devotion, the devotee is freed from the cycle of birth and death, the endless rounds of reincarnation. The soul is united with the divine, experiencing eternal peace and bliss. Krishna says, "Those who surrender to me with pure devotion, who perform their actions for my sake, who are free from desires and ego, will attain the highest liberation. They will dwell in me forever, experiencing my eternal presence." The promise of liberation is the ultimate fulfillment of the soul's longing. It is the realization of the true self, beyond the ego, beyond the limitations of the physical world, and beyond the cycle of suffering. In this union, the devotee experiences infinite peace, joy, and freedom. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.